Hello, boys and girls. Today we're going to work on a drawing that is going to be kind of abstract. It's not going to look like anything specific. It won't be a car, it won't be a house or a person or animal. It's not going to be anything. When we're done, you're going to see a lot of different fun shapes. And we're going to practice drawing our shapes, we're going to practice drawing lines, and we're going to practice following directions. These directions I'm going to give you will be kind of vague so you can create your own, but I want you to make sure you're following the directions as we go. I'm going to start with a marker, drawing with a Sharpie marker, but I would like for you to use crayons for this project, and I'd like for you to use a black crayon to draw with. I'm drawing on white paper. You can have, this is plain copy paper, or you could use construction paper. If you don't have any other types of paper, if you would like to use lined paper, that would be fine. And we're going to start off drawing some shapes around the paper. I'm going to tell you what to draw and you get to put it where you want. So we're going to start with a square. A square has 4 equal sides. Now your shapes and lines do not need to be perfect. If you make a mistake, it's okay. Just make sure that your shape is closed in. It doesn't leave a gap or an opening. And the square could have been put anywhere on the paper you would like, because yours is not going to look just like mine. Now after you get your square drawn, I'm going to draw a circle. This time, instead of just one circle, I'm going to draw 2 circles. It could be a big circle, small circle, could be anywhere on your paper. Again, don't worry about it being a perfect circle, just make sure it closes up. And your shapes can even overlap. So I have 1 square and 2 circles. Next, I'm going to draw a tall rectangle. See how tall it is? Barely fits on my paper. Oops, I forgot. I've got to make sure to close that up. And now I'm going to make a short rectangle, but my rectangle is going to be wide. It's going to go all the way across the paper. Again, you can put your rectangles wherever you would like, and they can overlap. Okay. Triangles. Triangles have 3 sides. I want you to draw a big triangle, a medium triangle, and a small triangle. Big, there's my medium, and I'm going to put my small one over here. See how now it's starting to look a little bit almost confusing. It's hard for you to see your shapes. Now we're ready to add some lines. I'm going to add a loop-de-loop right over top. Start at the top and go down to the bottom. Your loop-de-loop could be here, your loop-de-loop could be here, it could be anywhere as long as it starts at the top and goes to the bottom. Now I'm going to start with a zigzag. Have a big, tall zigzag, a short zigzag, but my zigzag is going to start on the left and go all the way to the right, off the page. Start off the page and end off the page. Now, I'm going to draw another zigzag. I want you to do the same. Start on one side and zigzag to the other side. Really breaking up those shapes. I want you to start at the top of your paper. I want 3 lines that start at the top and go all the way to the bottom. Start at the very top, pull it down all the way to the bottom. 1, 2, I'm going to put my last one over here because there's not a lot over here. 3. All right. Now, if you missed anything, you can always pause the video and catch up. If you've missed anything, just pause the video so that you're able to catch up. Now that we have all of our shapes, it's really cool to see all the new shapes we've created. I want you to choose from your crayons any color. It could be one of your favorites, any color you like. And we're going to start coloring in these little shapes. Now I'd like to show you something before you start coloring. I want to show you that sometimes when we color light, and sometimes we can color darker. We don't want to press down really hard on our crayons because of course that could break our crayons. But if we add a little pressure, see, that one looks a little bit lighter than this one. And I can even make it lighter. If I even go softer, I can make it lighter. This is the pressure that I'm adding. If I push down hard on the crayon, the color gets dark. If I color it very soft, the color gets light. I'd like for you to practice when you start coloring, I'd like for you to practice using lights and darks. That's value. Adding value to our coloring. So some are going to be light, some dark. And I'm not coloring in, like this was part of I think this was part of our line. I'm not coloring in the whole line, or I'm not coloring in the whole triangle or the whole circle. I'm coloring these new shapes that we've created. This is going to help us practice our coloring. The coloring actually helps our brain to let go of negative thoughts and bad things. Just kind of helps us relax and kind of get calm. Some of these shapes, just be very careful because you color all the way up to the line. So if I color to this line here and here, see how it's still a little open there? So it goes down to here. You stop at the black lines. And another thing, you notice how I'm using the same crayon. I've colored in a lot of different spots, but I spread them out all over the paper. I want you to do the same. I want you to not put the same colors side by side. I want you to use a variety of colors, a whole bunch of different colors. And I want you to use lots of lights and darks with the same crayon, the same color. And I want you to spread the color out. Now I'm going to put this crayon right here because I might go back and add some more later. But I'm going to switch colors to another one of my favorites. And I'm going to color some more. A different color. Now this color can go beside the purple because it's, of course, a different color. You just don't want the same color side by side. And you want to make sure you're just coloring in these small little areas. Lights and darks. And spread them out because you don't want all of the same color in the same space. You want to spread them out to use all of your space. Color some big ones, some small shapes. But these shapes that we're coloring, they don't have names anymore because we've cut them all into different shapes. Now when we're done, there will be no more white space on your paper. Just make sure to color smooth, neat, And if you notice a space is not colored in neatly, just go back over it if you need to fill it in some more. See how I left a few little white spots? I'm going to go touch those up real quick. And just do your best. Just don't forget lights and darks. Work on getting that coloring nice and neat. Now when I press down a little bit, I get some of those little pieces of wax coming up off the crayons. Be careful of those because see how they get on your paper? You don't want to smear it on your paper. I'm coloring all the way to the edge. Be careful not to color on your table. And you just keep switching up colors, just being careful to make sure that the colors are different. And not the same color side by side. Make sure you got some lights and some darks, and make sure your coloring is smooth. Okay, so I'm almost done. I'm just going back and touching up. I missed a few little spots. It's hard to see on this video because of the sun and the lighting, but there are several little spots that show up a lot. And that's why I try to get you guys to just double check your work. Just look it over. Make sure you get everything done as best you can. Once you're completely done and you filled in all your space, got all your little white spots checked, and make sure you, oops, look, I missed that teeny tiny little spot right there. Let me pick a color. There we go. All right, so once you double check, make sure you got everything done. Go ahead and upload your artwork to Artsonia. If you're having a hard time with that, remember to email me and we'll get you straight. I hope you had fun coloring. I hope you enjoyed your time coloring, and I can't wait to see your work.